Something absolutely unprecedented just happened in the movie industry, and most people don't even realize it yet. An anime movie just broke a record that stood for 20 years in Japan, dominated Hollywood blockbusters worldwide, and proved something that industry experts thought was impossible. And honestly, the numbers are so wild that I had to triple check them before making this video. Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, I dive deep into the business side of anime because these stories are often more fascinating than the movies themselves. And today we're talking about something that's genuinely historic. The Demon Slayer Infinity Castle movie has been quietly rewriting box office history across multiple continents. And the way it's doing it is pretty remarkable. We're not just talking about a successful anime movie. We're talking about a cultural phenomenon that's changing how the entire industry views anime as a commercial force. What makes this story interesting isn't just that it's making money, it's how it's making money, where it's coming from, and what it's beating to get there. Because some of these comparisons are going to surprise you. So let's dive into this step by step because there's a really fascinating story here about how anime just went truly global. The record that everyone thought was untouchable. Let me start with Japan because that's where this story gets crazy. For 20 years, 2 full decades, Studio Ghibli's Spirited Away held the record as Japan's second highest grossing film ever. Industry experts basically considered that record untouchable. It was Miyazaki. It was perfect timing. It was lightning in a bottle. Well, Demon Slayer Infinity Castle just walked up and said, "Hold my sake." The movie has now officially become Japan's second highest grossing film of all time, with $224 million, knocking Spirited Away out of that spot after 2 decades. But here's what makes it even more incredible. This happened while competing against major Hollywood releases, during a time when people weren't sure if theatrical experiences could still drive these kinds of numbers. And it didn't just barely beat the record, it completely demolished it, earning $37 million in its opening weekend alone, compared to the previous Demon Slayer movie's $31 million. Japanese audiences are showing unprecedented enthusiasm too. On Filmarks, Japan's main movie review site, the film scored 4.36 out of 5, based on over 8,000 user reviews. That level of audience satisfaction is rare for any movie, let alone a sequel. The movie didn't just succeed in its home market, it went global in a way that surprised everyone. During its opening weekend, this anime movie became the star film worldwide. Not just for anime, not just for animated films. #1 on the entire planet. The critical reception has been stellar too. 97% on Rotten Tomatoes from critics, 98% audience score, and an A grade on Cinema Score, which is incredibly rare for any film. When audiences are that satisfied, it usually means strong word of mouth and better legs at the box office. But wait, it gets weirder. In India, a market where foreign animated films usually struggle, this movie made $6.1 million in just 6 days, with a massive $4.8 million opening weekend. That makes it the most successful foreign animated film in Indian cinema history, outperforming Hollywood animated blockbusters like Incredibles 2, Frozen 2, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And here's the fascinating part about India. Most of that came from the original Japanese version with subtitles, not the dubbed versions. The Japanese version alone drove over half the earnings, while Hindi dubbing added $1.27 million, and English dubbing contributed $1.14 million. Indian audiences specifically chose the authentic experience over convenience. Looking at theater occupancy rates across major Indian cities shows this wasn't just hype. In Mumbai, theaters hit 25.25% occupancy, NCR reached 27.5%, and Bhopal peaked at an impressive 29.75% occupancy rate during peak shows. Those are strong numbers for a subtitled foreign film, breaking records everywhere. The international expansion has been consistent across the board, but let me give you some context for these numbers. In Mexico, the movie brought in $9.8 million on its opening weekend alone. To put that in perspective, most anime movies struggle to hit $1 to $2 million total in Latin American markets. The UK delivered $4.6 million in its opening, and according to reports, this is already close to beating the entire lifetime run of the previous Demon Slayer movie, Mugen Train. Both volume and premium ticket sales. Theater chains that were hesitant about anime content are now actively pursuing it. The success across 3,315 North American theaters proves the audience exists if you give them access to quality content. This success is also setting up the remaining 2 movies in this trilogy perfectly. With this level of momentum and audience satisfaction, Industry analysts are already speculating the final film could potentially approach $1 billion worldwide, which would be completely unprecedented for anime. Based on current trends, this movie will definitely cross $550 million worldwide before it's done. It's still performing well in multiple markets and hasn't even opened in China yet, which could add substantial revenue. The trilogy format is particularly interesting. If the final movie hits those billion-dollar projections, we could be looking at the most successful animated film franchise ever. Not just anime, but animated films, period. And the broader implications are huge. We're probably going to see a lot more anime movies getting serious global theatrical consideration, bigger budgets for animation studios, and potentially even Hollywood co-productions. So there you have it. $500 million worldwide. Officially the highest-grossing anime movie of all time. Japan's second highest-grossing film ever. Record-breaking openings across multiple continents, 97% critical approval, and pretty clear evidence that anime has achieved genuine mainstream global appeal. From that historic $70.6 million North American opening from 3,315 theaters to the surprising $6.1 million success in India, where audiences chose subtitles over dubbing, this movie is succeeding in ways that seemed impossible just a few years ago. I'm curious about your experience. Did you contribute to these numbers? What format did you see it in? And are you as surprised as I am by how global this success has been, especially the preference for original Japanese audio? Let me know in the comments, and if you found this deep dive helpful, give it a like. Subscribe if you want more analysis of the business side of anime. Next week I'm looking at which anime series might be positioned for this kind of theatrical success next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.